What's up, everybody? My name is Dell. This is Dell on Movies. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with me again. And tonight we are going to do bad movie swap number one. So, fans of movie swap, this is also for you, but just the other side of the coin. We're going to talk about some movies that most normal people think are terrible movies, but we find some serious enjoyment. And we have subjected myself and my guests have subjected each other to some movies, and we'll see if the other person got as much enjoyment out of it as we did. And my guest to do that is someone who is a bad movie aficionado himself. We're talking about Derek from the Convicted Cinephile. What's up, Derek?
I- I'm glad you thought of me first because yeah, I love me some crap, so
Oh,
I appreciate it.
you literally were the first person I thought of. I was like, I got to get Derek on because I want to talk bad movies, so I got to get Derek on.
That's funny. Yeah, it's they're just more fun half the time. You don't know what someone's gonna think is good, but everyone, if a movie's bad, everyone's gonna agree, but they still might like it. So that's what
Yeah,
mad about bad
exactly,
movies.
exactly. So, m- what do you think anyway? Might have got you started down that road.
What do I think? What?
Got you started down that road to
Oh,
watching bad movies.
I mean, well, I grew up on Mystery Science Theater. I've been watching it since I was literally since I can remember. I even have my little Tom Sawyer and Crow robots pop figures up above me here. So I grew up on Mystery Science Theater, where they literally sit and watch bad movies and make fun of them as you watch them. If you haven't seen the TV show Mystery Science Theater, go back and watch it. It's amazing. A lot of people surprisingly don't know what it is, which I find crazy, even like people my age. So I always try to point that out. It's one of my all-time favorite TV shows, and it's one of the best TV shows ever made. Let's just be honest. It
Yeah,
was on for
it's
like 11 years, plus it was on Netflix for 2 years, and now they
mm,
have their own streaming service. They're still doing new seasons of, which I still haven't seen the newest ones, but they're doing like a fundraiser for season 14 now. So
oh,
it's a
okay,
gift that
cool.
keeps on giving.
Yeah, I was older when it came out, but in my experience, there's really two kinds of people. Is people who love Mystery Science Theater. You know, you can't get enough of it. You watch it all the time, and then there's people who have somehow come across it, saw the shadows of the puppets and the cast on the screen,
Mhm.
watched for about 2 minutes, and said, "This is dumb," and walked away.
Yeah, yeah. It's either you love it or you hate it, kind of a thing. Like, there's no one who just like sometimes you have to be in the right mood for it, I suppose. But at least you'll enjoy it when you're in the right mood. So
Right, right,
yeah.
and it seems a lot of those people who kinda come across it kind of forget about it, and then you go, Mystery Science Theater," and they go, "Huh? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is."
Yeah, thing with the robots. Yeah. I just like it because it was also I'm from Minnesota and it was created here in Minnesota. It was like from Hopkins, Minnesota on public access TV is where it started. So like the only reason they were able to do it is because this little public access TV station had the rights to show these old crappy movies for free. So they're like, well, why don't we just do this? And then they just film themselves in front of a blue screen making fun of the movies that they're allowed to show. So that's where it started.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love public access because you can kinda get away with a lot of things, and
Yeah. At least
s
back in the day.
yeah, yeah, at least back in the day. Does that even exist anymore? I don't think it exists
Sure,
anymore.
I'm sure it does to an extent. I mean, PBS does, but it's like not. It's
Yeah.
different. It's not just like some guy making a show in his basement. That's what
No, no.
this is public access now. Sort
Yeah,
of,
yeah, I guess
about as
so,
close
yeah.
as you get.
Yeah, this will be public access now 'cause yeah, the way it used to exist, yeah, that's not around. Like you said, PBS isn't even the same.
Yeah, that's like
It's
that's a real channel. They just take your money when you give it to them.
yeah,
That's how
yeah.
they're pro
It seems like they're fundraising like every other week. I swear.
yeah. Sesame Street's expensive.
True, true, true. All right, now before we get into the movies, though, it is ramping up, getting close to for you to ramp up for your favorite time, and that's award season.
Yes, yes. It's quite the
Got
polar
getting
opposite of this. I either have Oscar season on the brain or like I want to watch something terrible. It's like
There you go.
I run the gamut. So
There you go. Any big plans this year?
for Oscar things, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to do. I mean, I'll just do the usual like predictions and reactions and that stuff. I don't know how many more little Oscarology videos I'll do because I've covered so many of them the past 2 years. Go watch them; they're cool. That I don't know if I have any other random facts I could pull out of my butt to make a video about. But I have ideas, and I might do some more like. I was thinking about doing one for The Killer because I just watched that on Netflix. Movies I watched this year that are Oscar contenders and make little Oscar contender videos slash reviews about them. So I might do that. That might be the first one I do. And then I'll go
Okay.
on and do one for like Barbie and Oppenheimer, and
Notebook.
I'll do some more live streams, and I'll probably do another All Leak Roast Things when I'm wrong during the Oscars live stream this year because it was fun and my kid had too much fun with it not to do it again. He mentions it
Okay.
every week.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun what you did last year. So I'll not spend too much time on that, other than telling people if you haven't seen Derek's stuff from last Oscar season, go check out a lot of stuff, especially the stream during the show, the Oscar
Yeah,
show. That was a lot of
yeah.
fun.
And if you don't want to watch it for 3.5 hours, I made a like 30 something minute long supercut of all the highlights. So you can at least go
Right.
watch that.
You mentioned The Killer. How'd you like it?
I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite Fincher movie. He's one of my favorite directors, but overall, I still liked it more than the average movie. I'll at least say that.
Oh, I think we are exactly in the same place, to be
I
honest. 'Cause I do love
don't have too many
Fincher.
complaints about it. It's just rather not. It's more of a rewatchability thing. That's like it's the biggest part of it to me.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little slow for that and repetitive in places.
Hmm.
And then the ending, I was kind of scratching my head a little bit.
It ends, that's for sure.
It does end. It does. It definitely ends. But in the end, I did like it. So
Mhm. It's too well
I'll
made to hate. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah, probably so, probably so. Speaking of things we hate, we're gonna get into those movies in just a minute. But first, we're gonna.
Hey, Huck's here.
What's going on, Huck? This is Hey Fellas. Thought I'd say hi now before Derek figures out how to turn this into a chat about Bone Tomahawk.
Bone
Okay.
Tomahawk is one of the greatest horror westerns of all time. I still have this from him.
There you go. Got it in. KB is here. What's up, party people? I interrupted watching one of Derek's videos to be here. LOL.
We'll get back to that after this.
You got to get it live, right? It's better to have it
Yeah,
live
yeah.
than in Memorex, as we used to say way,
Yes,
way back
yes.
in the day.
Is it live or is it Memorex? Yes.
Yep. Corey's here from Wilkie's Movies and Music. He says, "Hey, all."
Hey, Gory.
Caprice is also here. Hey, Caprice. So, she says, "So
Hey.
excited to see two of my favorite people chat." Hello, my darlings. I can't do the darling thing like she does it, so I won't. I don't
No,
try.
no. We don't sound as pretty as she does when she does it.
Exactly. I can't. I can't.
Right, yeah, I know.
Right. And for people don't know this, but my wife is on the other side of the camera, so if I did it, she would look at me really strange. Tiana is here. She says, "Hey everyone, what's going on, Tiana?" Holland,
Mhm. Oh, yeah, the Thanksgiving one, yeah.
the Thanksgiving stream. Yep. Tiana says, "Yeah, award season. Yeah, we're getting there."
Hey, movies. Now that the SAG strike ended, we can talk about stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of why I
Uh,
haven't done as much lately.
yeah, exactly. Mike says more Oscarology vids,
I'll
please.
pull
They're
out some.
awesome.
I'll rewatch all my old ones and try to find a topic I didn't talk about.
Yeah, those, I mean, I agree though. Those were really good videos. Tony's here. What's going on, Tony?
Uncle Tony.
Tony
Tony the
says
Table.
hi. And Tiana saying hi to Tony. All right, Mike is also saying that movie tired me. I'm thinking he's talking about The Killer.
Yeah, probably. Doesn't seem like a Mike
Uh,
movie.
it does not seem like a Mike movie, right? I will agree with
Jim,
that.
you'll love it. So you should watch it.
Zach Attack reviews it. What's going on, Zach? He says,
Hey,
"I
what's up, man?
hope you guys are having an awesome stream." We will be, and just
So
shortly. We
far,
haven't even
all
gotten
working.
started
That's all
yet.
I can ask for at this point.
That's right. Stream died. I don't know if anybody else is having any problems. Let me know.
It still says
Uh,
live
s-
when people are doing these. Yeah.
yeah,
Although there's nothing recording anymore. Before it said live and recording, and now it just says live.
yeah, it does that. That's when you're using
Okay.
the free version, and it only
I don't
records a
know this
few minutes.
software.
Yeah, the free version for some reason it only records for a few minutes. Well, because it's the free
Oh, weird.
version.
Get a free preview out
Yeah,
of it or something.
yeah, but you're still live. It just doesn't record after a certain amount of
That's
time.
weird.
Yeah, Zach's wanted to drop by before I go in mines. Everyone make sure to like and sub to Dell on Movies. Thank you, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how long your stream is going to go, but if we get out here on time, I'll come by and check out yours. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to turn the stage over to you, Mr. Derek,
Okay.
and tell us what you made me watch.
What I made you watch? Oh, I was about to read things. I made you watch a movie, a favorite from my childhood. I'm glad you picked it because it's something I've at least watched enough times to actually talk about a little bit, and that is Paul Rudd's greatest film, Mac and Me, from I believe 1988, the finest ET ripoff of all time, arguably. Some say it's better than ET, according to Garrett over at Born to Be Read. I would disagree, but it's amazing. I've been watching it for probably since 1988, honestly, when I was a chitlin. I used to rent it with my sister all the time, and it is a Mystery Science Theater episode now on Netflix. So if you want to watch it and you're afraid that it's bad, go watch people make fun of it with you on Netflix. But yeah, it's literally the same plot as ET, except Elliot is a little boy in a wheelchair, and his
Yes.
family who also has no dad because it's ripping off ET, and he has a sibling, and they move into a new neighborhood that's also in California. It looks like, and aliens hijinks ensue, and it has yeah. If you've seen ET, you've seen Mac and Me. It's just not as good. There's not much more to say about it than that.
Look, I mean, that's about all you can say.
Oh,
In the
there he goes.
only thing they added a couple things here and there to try to differentiate it. Like the beginning, we actually get to see more of what's going on the other planet and how they get here, and we
Yeah,
get
that's true.
we get a whole family of aliens here instead of just the one. Even though we really only spend time with the one, like
Yeah, he has the mom, the dad, and like a baby sister, right? And then they all get zapped or
yeah,
somehow.
they'll get sucked into the one of those spacecraft that we send out that goes and picks up samples from other planets
Yeah,
and that
and
kind
they're
of thing.
apparently made of liquid somehow because they get sucked in through like a straw.
Yeah, yeah, it's wild.
It's really,
Twice actually in the movie because later on they get sucked into a vacuum cleaner.
yeah, and Mac and Me
Well,
gets
the
sucked
one
into a vacuum
does,
cleaner. Yeah,
despite him
Mac. His
being
name is Mac and Me. It's not Mac.
right.
Mysterious alien creature is what Mac stands for. If you're wondering why it's called Mac and Me,
I did not know that.
yeah, I
I
believe
missed that
that's what it
somehow.
is. It's not extraterrestrial. It's mysterious alien creature.
That makes it even more of a ripoff of ET. That's funny.
Yes.
That is hilarious. All right, so one of the earliest things that I noticed with our main character, the kid in the wheelchair, and this is a small thing, but it tickled me pink all the way through the movie, even though it doesn't happen as much. But right at the beginning, he's like rolling through the hallway of the house, and there's a shot of him with his legs crossed in the wheelchair,
Sure. Yeah.
and then he rolls down, and the camera kind of cuts away to where he's rolling into, and his legs are suddenly uncrossed.
Oh, it's just those fancy edits. Yeah.
Yes, those lovely continuity errors,
Yeah.
and that as soon as it tickled me because it's like, okay, I know what I'm here for now. I know what I'm in for. We this is gonna be fun. But early the scene that I was waiting on, or the scene that I know this movie from, even before seeing it, happened so early. I didn't realize it was that early. And this is, of course, the wheelchair flying off the cliff
Yeah. Into
into
the water. Yeah.
into the water. Um, can you set that up for us a little bit?
Well. Yeah, because he's just like looking off. I can't remember what exactly makes him fall. I think he's just kind of looking around outside because he's in his like new house, and the alien is like in the river, and his like wheelchair won't stop. I think he's with his neighbor friend, right? And he like gets away from her, and she's like, "Oh, I can't stop."
No,
And he
well,
rolls and he flies into the ravine, and that's where Mac is. And he pops up, and he doesn't know
yeah,
where he is.
he hears Mac is what it is.
Oh,
He
okay,
hears the
yeah,
noises
that's right.
and he starts roll. So he goes outside
To see what
trying
it
to
is. That's
see
right.
what it is, and the noise is like keeps seeming like it's coming from further away, no matter how close he gets. And when he gets out, goes too far in the backyard, it's like almost a
Yeah, just a straight
steep,
downhill. Yeah,
yeah, pretty steep hill. That's definitely not wheelchair ready because it's not been cut in forever. So it's like deep shrubs everywhere.
yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
long, deep
overgrown.
grass,
Yeah.
overgrown, and then it kind of gives way to this cliff into the into the ravine. So, because I over the years from hearing about this movie, I thought the kid died right there. So I was like, "Whoa, this was
Oh
way
no,
early."
no, he's fine. Luckily, he's already paralyzed.
Yeah, luckily.
He can't get re-paralyzed again.
And
That would be much worse.
so funny thing is, I don't know if you remember this part, but he after he's in the water, and of course he's kind of flailing around, and his brother and his mom and his brother and the neighbor, the girl next door, they come out to see, and they look down, and Mac decides he's gonna go in and save him, and they jump when he jumps in, they show a shot from above, and it just looks whatever doll they use for Mac is just a dummy, kind of just a doll laying in the water, not moving, just kind of like
Yeah, like
kind
looking
of like
upward, right? Like it looks terrifying.
that.
Yeah, he's like
um,
gelatinous. Like he changes shape throughout the movie. It's really weird.
yeah, he changes shapes, and he gets he can do. We keep discovering he can do things that are amazing, just randomly, like
Yeah,
he like
conveniently. Yeah.
and definitely conveniently, because one of the first things he does is destroy the house when he gets there,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
because
that's right.
he just ransacks the whole house, and mom comes downstairs, and there's basically the backyard is now in her living room,
Oh yeah, that's
more
right.
or
Yeah.
less. And he's drilled
Isn't he like
holes all
taking
in the
power
wall.
tools to the wall and stuff?
Yes, he's taking
Yeah.
power tools to the walls. He's walls. He took a saw and cut a triangle in the door, and yeah, he's bought in all this stuff from outside. He's just destroyed this house. And half hour later in the movie, half hour 45 minutes later in the movie, and I guess when he figures out that mom is pissed at the two boys, she thinks they did it. He fixes everything overnight.
Right.
So he's an amazing carpenter.
Yeah. Because alien magic. That's why.
Yes, because alien magic. And it's funny because he's the baby. I'm like, what? Wait, what? He's the baby of the family. Like, how he's that smart? I get it. They could be much more advanced than us.
Right.
But then you meet dad eventually, and it's like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah. They just like get dumber as they get older, it seems like.
Yeah.
That's the better explanation, probably.
Oh man, that is one. Let me see if anybody else has seen or has anything to say about Mac and Me or anything. And Zach says, "Convicted Cinephile is a wild name, but an amazing name at the same time."
I thought so.
Yeah, it
People either get
works.
it or they hate it.
Oh
That's usually the
yeah. Mike says, "Mac and Me is awesome. How's that a bad movie?" Ooh,
it's
okay.
it's awfully bad. That's how.
It's yeah, it's very bad. It's fun.
Yeah.
it's
I'll watch it, obviously, repeatedly, but it's not good.
It's not. We got some opposition out here. Tiana says such a good movie.
Well, we're enjoying it. I like talking about it because it's so stupid,
Exactly.
but it's fun. It's
We're
funny.
having fun. The dance sequence is amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, let's go ahead to
we'll
the
get
dance
there. Yeah,
sequence. Let's just jump right to that. These kids, they're going to somebody's birthday party. I don't even know whose birthday party they're like
yeah,
going to, and it's they're having it at McDonald's. That's fine. And the first thing is they pull into the McDonald's parking lot, and there's just random dancing that's just happening in the parking lot of McDonald's.
yeah.
It's like
As usual.
yeah, it's like inspired. It's breakdancing. And you got all these little kids, like 6, 7 years old, looks like in a circle around them. Like if you've ever seen, if you're not old enough to remember, if you've ever seen any dance movies from the '80s, or just any happen to see somebody in real life doing it, there's a circle of people, and usually teenagers and adults that are circled around watching somebody dance, and then because the whole object is, they're gonna pass their hat around, and people are gonna give them money.
Right.
So, but here we got all these little kids standing around, and half of them look like they don't know what's going on. It's like they just dragged all these kids out of McDonald's, like, "Hey, watch them dance." And some of them are kind of into it, and some of them are kind of staring around, like, "What the hell am I doing here right now?"
I want my Happy Meal.
Yeah. And then they go inside. Then they go inside the restaurant, and it's the wildest birthday party ever because it's the craziest McDonald's. I've been to a McDonald's birthday party. It wasn't quite like this. And then from out of nowhere, like an episode of Glee just pops off.
Yeah, right. Isn't Ronald McDonald actually in it too?
Ronald McDonald is in it. He's walking
Yeah,
around. He's talking to kids and trying to entertain them. And he was like the least egregious thing in this whole scene. In the
and
whole
Mac
scene.
is like obviously like a person in a suit as opposed to like a puppet like he is throughout the rest of the movie.
Yes,
He's like, because
yes,
he's dressed as like a teddy bear or something, isn't he?
right. He's dressed
Like,
as a
they're
teddy
like,
bear.
"Oh, to disguise him, let's dress him up in this teddy bear costume," and then he's, like,
Yeah,
breakdancing. Like, yeah,
that
that
they
helps.
they cut the big holes for the eyes out
Yeah,
of. And yeah, he decides he's gonna fly across the restaurant, like flipping and flying across the restaurant,
yeah.
lands on the counter and starts dancing. And yeah, like you said, very clearly he's now a person in a suit instead of this puppet that they've been, moving the whole time. That so amazing, I will agree, Mike. It is amazing. I don't think we think it's amazing for the same reasons though.
Yeah. It's amazing because it's so ridiculous, but yeah.
It is very, very ridiculous. All right, Tiana watched it for the
Oh, nice.
first time this year.
For its 35th anniversary.
Yeah, so she had to get it in there. Very important movie.
Yeah. And you have to
Holland
you
watched it for the first time this year also, but I didn't like it. It's watchable. That's all I can say. It is watchable. That's the charm of this for me is that it's so watchable because things keep happening and you just like, it's like how is this happening?
yeah.
Why am I enjoying this? Because this is obviously terrible.
Like, "Oh, he can do this now." And we forgot to mention the, blatant ET ripoffs where instead of Reese's Pieces, he's eating Skittles. And
Yeah.
instead of,
Yeah.
like, getting drunk on little beers, he's, like, constantly drinking Coca-Cola Classic at the camera with the little bendy straw. He's always
Constantly,
drinking
constant.
things, doing weird
Yeah.
things with
And
his
we
hands and whistling.
yeah, I think they kind of do this
Yeah,
thing and they're instead of phone home, they do this and they whistle. And that was just interesting. Backstage, we were talking a little bit about McDonald's and product placement. There's Skittles here, there's Coca Cola, there's McDonald's. I want to say that there's something else I can't recall, but you had a little bit of a tidbit about
yeah.
McDonald's.
If I recall correctly, I might be wrong, but, like, in the background of the McDonald's scene, there's, like, a trucking company logo, and it's not like a McDonald's truck. It's just, like, a random company that, like, seems completely stupid and doesn't make sense, but it's, like, a company that works with McDonald's that had, like, a stake in the movie, and that's why they were able to do the McDonald's stuff in the movies because, like, one of their, like, beef suppliers or something like that is has money into the movie, and that's why they're able to shoot these scenes. Something like that. Don't quote me on exactly what it was, but it was I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere, but yeah, I forget
I'm
exactly the
sure
company name.
if anybody in the chat happens to know, let us know. And
It's something random.
Holland says mysterious alien creature. I thought it was McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably another reason they called it Mac and Me, yeah.
Probably. Adrian is here. He says, "Hey there, Dell and Derek, the double D's."
Yep, that's what they
Yes,
call us.
that is definitely what we call us. Mac and Me is a misunderstood masterpiece. Hey, what's going on, Ken? I'm glad I'm glad you came in, hitting us with the masterpiece for Mac and Me.
It's a masterpiece.
I like it. I like it. Agent saying, "Hey to Ken."
That's what
Uh,
I'm watching now.
yeah. Holland says him falling in the water is the best part of the movie.
The
So,
clip that Paul Rudd would always show on Conan O'Brien when he was a guest, it was amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go back to that because I thought that was like the main deal with that, but it turns out that that was just kind of foreshadowing because later on in the movie they actually kill him. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
he's
they do. They actually, like, change that around at the end because yeah, he, like I forget what exactly does it happen to him at the end when he dies and comes back. Like, how did he
that's
die in the
when
movie?
the parents are there, the alien parents, they
Yeah,
family.
they're, like, in a Walmart or something, right? Or, like, a
I
store.
think so. Might have been Walmart or Kmart. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And the cops start shooting at him, and in Michael Bay fashion, for somehow there's a huge explosion. I think the dad alien does something, but there's a huge explosion.
Yeah.
And then when they pull the camera back, you see you see a silhouette of a wheelchair with the kid just kind of laid out in a
Yeah,
wheelchair.
he's, like, laying dead in it. I think he
But
actually got shot and they cut that out.
he
The
might
main
have, but they were it
Yeah.
was superimposed over the flames, so
Yep,
you couldn't really
that's
tell.
right.
And then the brother goes over to try to save him, and then it's really him just kind of laying there. And then yeah, the alien dad brings him back to life.
Hmm.
So doing the whole
With
hand
alien
thing and
magic.
whatever that was. So that was
Hmm.
that was pretty wild.
Yeah, yeah. I think they originally shot him in the movie, and they cut out the actual game getting shot part because it's a little much. And
Yeah.
then they
So
ended up him dying from the explosion, I guess.
so what does the director or somebody have against this kid?
Right.
Aside from that, they spent the whole first half of the movie with Mac just tormenting the kid, basically.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's like almost like a horror movie if you put the right music to it when he's, like, trashing the house and trying to get him through the walls
Yeah,
with
exactly.
a drill or something like
Exactly.
that.
I'm like, man, what did this kid do to you guys? What is
Yeah.
going on? Why are they tormenting him so?
Then everyone ends up happy, and he don't they, like, become citizens at the end, and they're wearing people clothes, and it's
Yes, that
disturbing as
is
all
the
get out?
best. They become citizens at the end of the movie. They're wearing like human clothes. Dad's got on a suit. And if you've not seen it though, they're uh they're kind of waddling around. When they walk, they waddle, and dad is
Mhm.
like super duper tall.
Yeah,
So
she's very
it looks weird.
it's off
And
putting.
yeah, to share this. So that's Mac.
There you go,
And
but you gotta show him up, yeah.
I had to show him off. But imagine dad with a longer face, the same face, but just longer and
And,
about
like,
7 feet
7 feet
tall.
tall, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
the sister looks about the same as him, and then the mom is weird looking like the dad,
yeah. Yeah.
more or
They
less.
did some things to her where they tried to make her look female,
Mhm.
but not quite. They like,
Female enough, I guess.
yeah, female enough, but nobody has any genitalia, which is
Yeah,
odd.
because 'cause
But
they're naked the whole time, so,
yeah,
you know,
they're naked the whole time.
like
I mean,
E.T. was
that's
walking around naked most of the time.
yeah, except they're not cute, but
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
Mac's kinda cute. The rest of them, no.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll if I say he's cute, if you uh if you just get a quick glance at him, but once you start looking at him, it's like,
Yeah.
no.
The longer the camera holds on him, the higher the definition, the less cute he gets. He's really cute on VHS.
Yeah, yeah. The high def is not his friend.
Right. Sure you can
That
see
is
the
for
zipper
sure.
up his back and stuff too, if you
All
look
right,
at it right.
all right. Ken says, "Del, did you watch the alternate ending where the kid gets taken out for real?" I guess that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I think he actually gets shot, and that's what Ken's talking about, as
Yeah,
opposed to just like, "He dies."
I
But yeah.
didn't. I watched whatever's on. They've it's on Amazon Prime, so I watched it there.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing that's just a straight theatrical cut.
Most likely, yeah. I don't even remember if the Blu-ray has the alternate ending, but I haven't watched it in a while.
Laren is here. What's
But
going
you
on,
might as
Laren?
well.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And thing about them being citizens, though, by the end of the movie, Holland's saying, "Hey, uh, um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was absolutely horrified of them becoming citizens, and the reason is not because of how they look; it's all the things that they could do."
Right. All
So
their alien magic powers.
yes, yes, they're bulletproof. On top of that, they have dad has superhuman strength. At least dad does because he took a tire iron and just basically
Oh, that's
twisted
right,
it into
yeah,
a
yeah.
pretzel.
Oh god.
Yeah, yeah,
They can whistle
and
people back to life. They're essentially made of
bring people
liquid
back
because
to
he gets
life.
hit by a car and he becomes like a splatter on the car. That part's
Yeah,
hilarious. And he's like gets and he's like hanging on the car and he's like made of rubber and he's like, "Woo,"
okay, yeah.
slings
We got some
away.
Looney Tunes action,
Yeah.
and I was like, how are these not the aliens from Independence Day? Who failed?
Almost.
Yeah, I think we lose if that's the case. If those are the aliens coming
Yeah,
to
they're much
actually
much
invade us, we lose.
that's what they should look like when they open up their biosuits on Independence Day, just little Mac-and-Me aliens inside there. Oh my god.
Yeah, that would have been ghastly. This movie reminds
Yep,
me of Conan and Paul Rudd.
yep. That's like what it's the most famous for to people who don't know what it is. Paul Rudd's clip he brought
Yeah.
on Conan O'Brien every time.
It took me a minute to get that because I've heard you say it a time or two, and I was like, Paul Rudd, why Paul Rudd? Okay,
I remember
now
seeing
I
that even
now
before I knew who Paul Rudd was, and I just was watching Conan one day. I was like, "This is hilarious. Who is this person?"
I yeah, it is definitely it's an interesting movie. Um Cody's here. What's going on, man? He says, "What's up,
Hello,
everyone?
Cody.
Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button." The dude.
Hear someone say Mac and me, and he's like, "What?"
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta hear Mac and me, right? All
Mm.
right. Laren is saying what's up. Got a lot of people saying what's up. And now one of the things that also kind of not threw me, but was also very laughable was just the acting in general, all the acting, but the kids in particular, the our main character and the
Yeah,
girl next door, they were pretty bad. That was that was
yeah.
pretty rough to sit through for them. All
And when he
right.
meets her, she's like dressed like a Native American person. It's like really weird. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right at the beginning, I was like, "What are you doing? Why are we doing this?" That was pretty wild.
The '80s.
Damn, you went to a McDonald's birthday party? Sweet. So I didn't actually go to one on like just go to one. I actually threw one for my son when he was really little.
Nice.
We had a McDonald's birthday party, and I can't remember what year it was. Might have been second or third, something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Play place style McDonald's, I would assume.
and they had those. They don't have as many of those nowadays for
Yeah,
McDonald's.
not good ones at least.
No, not good ones. Not good ones. All right. And again, we got more people. I'm really just kind of looking to see if anybody said anything more about Mac. There's not like a
What
ton
else is there
more.
to say? If you
Yeah,
like
there's,
ET,
there's there's not a
you
ton
like
more
it.
to
If you don't
say
like ET,
about
you
it.
might like it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my overall thoughts on it before we go ahead and move on to the next movie. And we got a lot of random comments. We have a random exclamation point,
There's a shock of our
and
love of
we
Mac
have
and me.
oatmeal. And Cal L. Daly's here. What's going on, Cal? I'm not sure what the oatmeal was about because I was kind of zipping through all the random comments.
Oh, yeah, did you do
Um,
something with oatmeal in the movie? I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember any oatmeal. At least I don't think I do.
Maybe it's another blatant product placement that's in the movie.
Right, Quaker Oats or
That wouldn't
whatever it
surprise me.
was. Yeah,
Actually, that might be it.
might be it. Adrian, I
Yeah,
haven't seen Mac and Me. It's an experience, Adrian. It is
yeah.
definitely an experience. That is for
It's
sure.
short, it's fun, it's stupid.
Yep.
Worth
Holland says you're
watching.
in for a treat.
Mhm.
Tim is here. What's going on, Tim?
Hello, Tim.
Tim's been doing a lot of ranting lately, so I hope
Yeah,
he's here to take a breather.
yeah.
That would be
Give us your
cool.
thoughts on Mac and me, Tim.
Yeah, definitely give me your thoughts on Mac and Me. Adrian says he may check it out one day.
So it's on Amazon
And
Prime, right? You watched it on there?
yes, it is on Prime. Cal's never seen it.
Yeah. If you have the Netflix, you can watch the Mystery Science Theater episode where they make fun of Mac and me. It cuts out the dance scene though, which
Oh,
sucks.
why would
It
you
cuts
cut
out
that
like
out?
most of the McDonald's stuff, probably for legal reasons. So
Oh,
that's
because
why
that
you
would.
should watch the real movie, but the Mystery Science Theater version of it is hilarious because it's
Yeah,
Mystery
I've
Science
not
Theater and they're
seen
making
I've
fun of
not
them.
seen their version of it, but I mean, you mentioned legal reasons, so it makes sense. But I mean, that
Yeah,
would be the one scene where they could really
yeah,
kind of let loose on that scene
yeah. I
because
think
there was a
they show
lot.
like a bit of it, but not like the whole dancing part. I don't think is in there, just enough to
Yeah.
make fun of it. I think, but
Okay.
really,
Cal is Return of the Mac the sequel. No, but great song.
yeah, yes, it is.
Great song. They
Yeah.
teased a sequel.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah. At the
teased a
end, there's like a
sequel.
bubblegum bubble. And it's like we'll be back. It's like
Yes,
what?
exactly. I was like, "What? Why? Who?" So this tells me that somebody after they finished this movie, or when they were writing this movie, first off, they were like, "Okay, we're gonna make a franchise out of this. Back in the universe is coming."
Yeah,
And then they
a
got
real
to the end.
MCU.
Yeah, they got to the end and was like, "Look, there it is. We're gonna part two is coming. Promise you." So somebody thought they just had a hit on their hands. Somebody knew this was a hit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ET did so well, so clearly this movie that's exactly like it without any of them. talent put into it, would do just as well. They were wrong.
They were wrong. They were wrong. So yeah, Kyle, this one is way more gangster. Is this damn really is Mac 10 in it? I like Mac 10. The West Side Connection Mac 10. All right, dude, I actually know Mac. I went to college with him. He was wild. Okay. Now, when you say Mac, are you talking about the actor, the kid, or are you talking about the Mac,
He pounced
the
at the
alien,
cold
which
like
I
no one
wouldn't
else.
doubt because he is a citizen, so he may have went to college.
Yes, went to
And I
community
about skip
college.
that. Cal says Cody. He's saying what's up to Cody. Says, bro, never thought I'd hear about Mac being cute. Where is this going?
Well, as a child, I always thought he was adorable. Now I look at him, he just looks hilarious.
He looks hilarious. Uh, Floyd House Flicks, what's going on, Big Chris? Says, hey, fellas, good to see you guys getting it done. Hello to the chat. So you mentioned how he looks. Let's go ahead back to it. I was talking to my daughter right as I was finishing up Mac and Me because I had to ask her about this movie she showed me a year or so ago. There's a movie called Skins. Most people are not familiar with this movie. I can't remember if it was Netflix or Hulu, but it was one of them. But it's one of those weird indie movies, and the main character is this young lady who was born with her butthole where her mouth should be, and her mouth in where her butthole should be.
Oh, yes, yes. So they ripped off South Park, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, and they made a whole movie out of it, live action.
Oh, great.
And when I look at Mac's face, when I look at what that hole where the mouth is, that's all I could think of was
Yeah,
this
it
ugly
does look
lady.
like that because he whistles a lot.
Yes, my God. I will never ever watch the other movie again, Skins, because it was too much for me. But
I'll give it a shot.
some people out there do will watch it, I'm sure. Like button. Yes, thank you very much. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Cal saying what's up. All right, so let's go ahead and get to my overall thoughts while we got everybody. Oatmeal is Holland oats. Oh, I did
No,
not know that.
that makes sense too.
Holland oats oatmeal. Got it. They probably cut it out because of music license.
Yeah, it might have been
Yes,
that too. Was the song even like a real song though? Really?
it felt like a song that was made just for this movie.
Yeah, like it's not like a popular song or anything.
Yeah, it yeah.
Does it count
Lance
for
is
a real
brown eye.
song?
Yes, it was interesting movie. All right. So, so my overall thoughts on Mac and Me. If you can't tell already, I had a blast watching this movie. It's bad. It's poorly made. The writing is ham fisted. They're trying to get all the major parts of ET and just kind of shove them in this movie
Yeah, all
and
the
add
cool
a
stuff.
few things like they tried to recreate the magical bike scene, except they did it with a kid rolling in his wheelchair down the middle of the street and suddenly grabbing onto the back of a passing truck and not dying somehow.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
So it's a lot, yeah, it's
He's
a lot of
invincible.
craziness like that. And if you like just watching craziness, have at it because it is a nutty movie and it is fun, so much fun to watch, even though it's not a well made movie. But it's hard to take your eyes from. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, it's well made enough that you can definitely get through it. It's not like unbearable to watch, and it's just like fun, goofy, and short, and you know what you're getting
Right,
into.
right. Short is definitely a big help. It's a big plus because, like you said, it's about 85 minutes, 83, 80
Yeah, it's
something
80
like that.
something. Yeah, which is always as a kid, every movie seems like it's the same length because it's a movie. Then when you grow up and you watch it, and you're like, oh, this movie's really short. You're like, oh, thank
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah. Because that's what happened when I watched it the second time. I was like, we're here already. Okay, this
Yeah,
cool. This cool.
it's
I'm
rewatchable.
good.
You ever watched it twice in like a week,
Yeah,
right?
I watched it twice in less than a week, and like I said, I had fun watching it, so I was cool. Um, I'm sure I'll watch it again at some point. Like if somebody's looking for something crazy to watch, I'm like, hey, let's watch Mac and Me. Let's
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes.
It's unoffensive. Like anyone can watch it too. It's not like I can watch it with my kid and he'll like it because it's a kids movie, and I'll like it because it's stupid. So it's like the perfect kind of thing for that.
Right, right. All right. Speaking of stupid, let's go ahead and get to the other movie.
Oh yeah,
So the other movie, I'm gonna do it a little bit different because I know you took some notes. So I don't want you to waste it. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do the
I
whole
wrote some down because
synopsis
I have no
thing.
memory.
Yeah. So normally I would give the synopsis, but I'm gonna let you do it since you put a lot of work into that part. I'm
So
just gonna
much
go
work.
big screen for a second and show the movie, a movie a lot of people have never heard of.
Yes, yes.
This is the FP, and I will take a good look at the cover, everybody, and you can see particularly what he's standing on. And then I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna let Derek go ahead and tell us about the FP.
All right. I'll do it in trailer voice too if it helps. In a dystopian future, two rival gangs fight for control of Fraser Park, the FP, which for all intensive purposes is the remaining inhabited world. Gangs settle disputes for leadership by playing Beat Beat Revelation, a deadly version of the popular dance video game. The power of the land has shifted, leaving the local alcoholics to become meth addicts and worse. Can overcome the obstacles necessary to redeem Fraser Park? Competitive dance fight video game Beat Beat Revolution at its best. Yeah, it's outstanding. I actually only heard of this like recently because when I was sitting backstage, when they announced that big Mario Brothers Umbrella 4K set, I told a buddy of mine about it, and he went on the site to look at it, and they have an FP collection at Umbrella also because there's 4 of these movies. All of them are on Tubi. That's where I watched it. But yes, there was 4 FP movies in the FP franchise, and they are on Blu-ray from Australia, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the gist.
I was mentioning to you. Didn't know. I knew there was one sequel. I knew there was the FP2, but I didn't know that there were 4 of these movies. I couldn't imagine that there were 4 of these movies.
it's
To be honest.
it's impressive that there's more than one. I
Yes.
mean, there it is, but it isn't. I don't know. It's God. It's fun. Like I had, it was exactly what it needed to be, and I was so glad I picked this as the thing I watched. Like I partly did because I just heard of it from my buddy, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch that," and then have something to talk to him about when I see him next time. But yeah, it's these it's like Escape from New York style characters, but like just in normal California. Like the entire time during the movie, like to imagine that they're living this way, but everything else in the world is completely normal around them. Like, and it just made it funnier to me because there's nothing dystopian about it whatsoever, except for like the place where they're doing these dance battles, and that only
Right.
happens 2 times in the entire movie. So it's like a cliche like hero's tale where the younger brother who looks awesome and has an eye patch, who is the star of the movie, is also the writer director, and his brother, the Trost
Yep.
brothers, I believe. Yeah. So he's J-Tro. That's like his actual nickname, like Josh Trost, J-Tro.
Yes.
And his brother is also the cinematographer, and he's actually like a legit good cinematographer. Like this movie looks fantastic, and he shot like a lot of Seth Rogen's movies, and he directed that American Pickle movie that's on Netflix, which I hadn't seen yet. But like This Is the End and The Disaster Artist, like he shot those movies, so he's actually a good cinematographer. So the movie looks really good, and these characters, it's just so over the top, and the language, there's bad language in it, but like to an
Mhm.
extreme to the point where it just becomes so ridiculous that it's funny again. Like at first it's funny, and then it almost becomes annoying, but it's so consistent, like their slang throughout the movie, whatever you want to call it, that
Mhm.
it's just outstanding. And then there's an amazing payoff at the end explaining how they can talk this way, and I lolled at that for sure. It was like the funniest thing in the movie to me.
Yeah, yeah. So this is my second, no, actually my third time seeing this movie, and so I'm watching it this time, and I'm going, I, if I wanted to, I could really just say this movie. This is just blatantly racist, and it's almost like blackface. It's almost like watching guys in blackface at some point. But then as you watch it, it's like this is too stupid to
Yeah.
really.
It's so
So
dumb it's not. Yeah, it becomes inoffensive.
Yes,
It's
this
so
is just too
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah, and all the characters are idiots except for, like, the lead's, like, normal enough, and he plays the part pretty well, I thought, where
Yeah.
he's, like, just serious enough, but also, like, funny, and he, like, realizes the things they say are kinda weird and stupid, and, like, the bad guy is, like, the most exaggerated bad guy ever, and he's, like and his ex-girlfriend that he kinda likes that he never asked out is with the bad guy, and she's, like, living in a trailer park and everyone sleeping with everybody. Yeah,
Right.
it's like every cliche in any movie, yeah, because he's, like, the younger brother of the great, uh, guy who plays this Dance Dance Revolution because they couldn't afford the actual game to be in the movie, that's what it is,
Yes.
and then so they're the 248, right? It's like their area codes.
Yeah, the
They're
248
representing the 248, and the
and
other
the
guys are the
245.
245. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, I got this, bro," and he, like, plays the DDR game with those huge boots, you see it on the cover,
Oh
and I
my
was like as
god.
soon as you hold it up, I laughed because I was like, "Oh god, that's just so stupid." So, basically, they play DDR, and he DDR so hard that his brother dies in the opening of the movie. They don't,
Yes.
like, explain why he dies, he just, like,
He just
dies for
dies.
some reason. I thought, like, when read the description, I was like, "That's hilarious." I thought it, like, it killed you if you lost or something like Saw. I'm like, "No, he just dies
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
he's exhausted or something?" I don't get it.
the description
Then he's
makes
like,
it seem
"Oh, I'm
like,
never gonna
yeah.
play it again," and he becomes like a lumberjack, and then a year later, his friend comes and finds him because they need to get the L the
Yeah,
FP
yeah.
back 'cause,
It makes it seem like the game is on the description that you read, the synopsis you read, and,
yeah,
Tiana really enjoyed your reading of the synopsis.
I couldn't
Um,
do it without laughing, it's so stupid.
but yeah, it makes it seem like the machine is just kind of is killing people when they play this game. It's the deadly game of, it's like,
Yeah,
wow, you lose this game, the game kills you. It's like, no, that's not quite what happens.
it's
But
it's coincidental.
it seems to be coincidental a few times that people just kind of either die or nearly die in
Yeah,
this game.
when they lose, yeah.
Yeah, when they lose, it's you never had that problem when you win. So
Yeah,
weird enough.
and even the game has, like, the similar, like, slang that they use, like, when they're losing or winning, like, screams things at them, and it's oh god, it's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah, they're, like, speaking it's basically video game nerds in like a post-apocalyptic war zone that's not at all a war zone. It's like just like normal California, you can tell, except for
Yeah.
like a set here and there.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Uh,
And I don't even know if they're full blown video game nerds because they don't play anything else. So it's really like those people who just wait in line to play Dance Dance Revolution.
yeah,
It's like those people.
I think he's really like he is like obsessed with the game in real life. That's why they like came up with this stupid movie because it was a short first, and then they turned it into a feature. You know, God bless him.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's
everyone in it's they everyone like everyone's terrible in the movie, but they're perfectly terrible. Like they all play their
yeah.
over exaggerated parts so well.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Uh,
Tiana says she loves Seth Rogen. So
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
your gift
They
for the
worked
day.
with him a lot. I was kinda half expecting him to be in the movie. There actually is, like, legit good actors in this movie too, like, as little bit characters. They have to, like, be friends with them in real life or something. Like,
Hmm.
Clifton Collins Jr. is in one scene as, like, a
Yeah,
drug dealer.
like randomly just pops up. It's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
you're like a
He's
real
selling, like,
actor.
meth pills or something. I forget what he calls them. And they all have stupid nicknames. And then, Sean
Yeah.
Whalen is in it, who,
Hmm.
like, people he's not, like, a guy whose name you know, but he's a character actor who's been in, like, 100,000 movies, like, he's the guy from People Under
Yeah.
the Stairs with his tongue cut off, who's, like, the weird guy, and he's in Twister, he's in the movie, then James Remar is the narrator, it's like I'm like, "Oh, I know that voice." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, it's James Remar, okay, cool."
James Rebar, yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
the
"It's got
weird things, guys like that pop up, and it's like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Why?
How did they
Why did
know
you get
you?
here?
Because that's the only
Yeah,
reason you're there.
yeah.
And it's
How do
one of
they
those
know
things,
you?
it's such a dumb concept that it's like, "That sounds fun." Like, you wanna be in that. It's so ridiculous. It's like, it's kinda like Hot Rod. I was talking to my wife. Like, it's like how stupid Hot Rod is as a movie times, like, 1,000. Like, that's how stupid this movie is, and it's like it's
I still
perfect.
need to see Hot Rod, to be honest. I haven't
So
seen
if you
that
like
yet.
this, you'll like that probably.
Holland is sold.
Yeah, and I figured Alan would at least get a kick out of it. It's God. Yeah, like, the characters are like J-Tro, his brother's B-Tro, which is
Nitro, yeah.
and the bad guy's L-double-E, and the guy in real life's name is Lee, so L-double-E is just his name. Uh, the their Asian hype man is KCDC, and the the wise trainer who is there when he comes back is named BLT. I don't think they ever
Yeah.
explain why he's BLT.
Yeah, I've been waiting on that one this whole time. Like, why is he BLT?
There's like cliche training montages of him like in their headquarters underground in the
Oh,
old
the
Underground Railroad thing, and he's like lifting weights and practicing the game while like wearing these heavy things, and that's so stupid. Running up mountains back and forth,
the
it's
training
great.
montages are the best.
Yeah, they're hilarious. He's like the guy's like laying on his shoulders, and he's trying to like play DDR with him on top of him, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, just like anybody watching still, it's just imagine any of those 80s training montages from the Rocky movies,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, it's kind of like that, except he's training for a dance video game,
Hmm.
and he's got on these ridiculous boots the whole time he's doing it.
They're enormous too. They're like up to his knee, and they're like
Yeah,
they're so
and they
stupid.
made sure that you saw these boots right at the beginning because he comes in and he's like, "Look at what I'm wearing." It's like, oh my god, you are wearing something.
And he hands them down to him like they're in his locker after he dies. And he's like, "These are yours now.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
play with them." I'm like, "Oh my god, it's
They made it like the boots had some kind of special power, but they were just
they're just
enormous.
boots that are enormous for some reason." Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
explain it. Like they have no like function. Like if anything, they would make you worse at the game. So that's why it's so funny that they're special.
yeah.
They're so
'Cause, I mean,
bulky.
they got to be heavy, right?
Yeah, I'm like, are they weighted? Is that why he's so good at it? Like that's what I thought it was. I'm like, no, he just
Which,
plays with them. Okay.
yeah, because I mean, 'cause you need speed, so I wouldn't want big, heavy boots like that. But especially if
You're
people
right.
might die at the end of the game, so
Yeah, for some reason.
for
Or
some
not,
reason.
depending on the part of the movie. Yeah, because like, he's in, like, the pre-match in the opening, the younger brother who's, like, the main
Yeah,
character, and he battles a guy, and he wins, I think, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, good job." He's like, You taught me everything." And then the final matchup for, like, control of the
control of the
FP is between the
FP.
brother and the other guy, and he loses, and he dies for some reason. This is what like, how is it
Yeah.
any different than the match before this? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense so much that it's great.
Yes, yeah. I agree. The boots, back to the boots though, they reminded me. I guess I don't know about 6 months ago. Those big red boots. I guess they was it Mario
Oh,
inspired or
yeah, those things are
something.
so
That's what they
stupid.
reminded me of.
Yeah, they're that dumb. They're probably less dumb than those, honestly, because at least this is for a joke and not
Yeah,
for fashion. But
yeah,
they're
yeah.
that egregious.
They definitely are. And I'm gonna show it again. I'm gonna go big screen just to show it again.
Yeah, if they're on the cover, yeah, you can see it for sure.
You can definitely see it. And let me see if I can get the glare out of there. And you can see how high those boots are, and they're big. They're not just
It's like boots
tall.
inside of boots. It's like that's how thick they are.
Yeah. So it's I know lots of ladies who wear long boots when it gets cold, and it's not like that.
And it just looks like it's, like, taped together. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. These boots, I'm sure, were definitely made just for this movie because there's no other reason for these things at all. Um,
I forgot to mention one thing that like, the explanation for why they need to get the park back or whatever is because they're bringing drugs into the neighborhood, or like meth specifically is what they always say. It's like they're bringing meth into the neighborhood, and now the alcoholics don't have any booze to drink. So
right.
now the alcoholics have to have meth. It's like, and if there's no alcoholics, then there's no bums, and if there's no bums,
Yes,
who's
yes.
gonna feed the ducks at the park? What about the ducks, man? It just keeps coming back. It's
So the
only for
payoff
the
with the
ducks.
ducks. Oh man, that just put it over the top for me. The payoff with the ducks at the end was just amazing because I, I remember the speech obviously, and he gives this whole kind of circle of life kind of deal with the
Yeah,
with it,
the
and
newspaper clippings and everything. Yeah.
yeah, but then I kind of forgot about it until the duck showed up on the screen. I was like, oh, okay, there we go. That
So
was a
good.
great payoff, actually.
Yeah, like
Like
the
in a
jokes in it are they work. Like it's all
yes,
stupid as hell. It's so
yes,
dumb, but it's like, oh,
yes,
I loved it. It was
yeah.
fun. I'm glad
That
I did.
one for me, that one was great. Like in a legit filmmaking way, it was like, oh wow, we brought it back and
Yeah,
we
like
made it work.
it's not written badly. It's just super. it's every cliche from any kind of movie like it's making fun of, but with the stupidest premise ever, and like super hip hop gangster language coming out of a completely white cast where it just sounds wrong from
Right.
anyone who's talking about it, and it's
Well,
and
except the
yeah,
Asian guy.
they're
We had
saying
one Asian guy.
a choice word repeatedly that I'm like, really, they're getting away with saying this a lot more than they should, and
Yeah,
then when
that's
they
that's what I
explain it at
was.
the end, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. So it was. That's why I said it was like, by the end it was like, this is just too silly to be like offended by, really.
Yeah,
It's like, just watch it and let it go and
yeah,
have fun with it. Um, there. What did you think of the random? There was this one random the friend, not the there was the girl that Jatro liked that was
yeah.
the bad guy's girlfriend, but then she had a friend who would just randomly appear topless somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like, yeah, they're like fighting at the end, and she just like takes her shirt off, and there's like people in the background, just like what?
What? Yeah. So it's like several scenes throughout the movie. It's like she just randomly just like, she'll take her top off, or she'll be like, her shirt will be half off or something like
Yeah,
that.
just standing in the background for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, how did they even convince you to do this for the
Sure, it's one of their girlfriends in real life. Whoever the guy's making it. They're old buddies. Well, yeah, James
probably?
DeBello is another actor in it who I like, who's in like Detroit Rock City and stuff. Tim just got his autograph. I laughed when I saw that he was in this movie. I was like, oh, you just got this guy's autograph from this movie. Too bad it wasn't from this movie. Then it would be like a million times better.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been a million times better. That's hilarious. I wonder if people actually, when they do, if he does conventions or anything like that, and if they bring him FP memorabilia.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's a huge cult. Usually, I don't like movies like this that are trying to be funny, like or like trying to be that stupid. But for some reason, it just like hits the perfect mark of ridiculousness where I enjoyed it, kind of like Hot Rod, where it's like it's
Mhm.
so dumb, but like after a while, it kind of gets old, and then like they'll say a few jokes or two or something will happen that it just like brings it back and makes me like, okay, this is actually really funny. Again.
All
I'm
right.
excited to watch the other three. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, me too. Actually, for I, it was just would have, until you said it, it just would have never occurred to me that there were four movies.
Yeah, I'm amazed they made four. Like, but obviously you could tell it's cheap to make because like these like two guys do 90% of the work probably.
Yeah.
Like the director and writer, the actor and the cinematographer, and their like sister is the costume designer, and like their dad is a producer. Jason Blum was one of the producers. I noticed when I was watching the
Mhm.
credits. I'm like, oh, this is a Blumhouse film, but it doesn't dare say that at the beginning.
No.
Although I kind of wish it did.
I think the hardest part of making these movies, honestly, would be making sure everybody that was in it had a free weekend to film. That would
Right,
be the hardest part.
and they're on the same page. About, yeah. So yeah, it does jump around just enough that they're like, okay, we got to do this scene today. Like they go to a practice match in the 138 or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
and they drug him, and he still ends up winning, and it's just like so stupid.
Yeah, yeah, that whole drugging him thing was like, padding. It was padding. That's what,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I mean, it
'Cause
only lasts like a minute. That's why it's funny. It's like, why'd you even do that? Like, it's
yeah,
kind of pointless, but it was funny. But it's like it doesn't affect anything. Like he still wins, and it's like nothing would have changed if you didn't do
not
that. But I'm
anything at
guessing it's
all.
showing he's that good. I guess.
Yeah, that's about all you can do. And this movie is actually pretty short too.
Yeah, it was like 83 minutes long or something like that.
Yeah, it was roughly the same as Mac and Me. So, two quick watches, you can just laugh your brains out
Yeah,
if you're using your brain at all.
yeah. If you're in the right mood for this movie, it's just outstanding. And I'm glad I waited until today to watch it finally. Because if I would have watched it any other day, I would have felt like rushed into it. But I was like, all right, I have the perfect amount of time after work before my kid gets home from school. I can fit this movie in right before tonight, and I'll be fresher in my mind. And yeah, I'm glad I did that.
Cool, cool. So, I mean, we've really kind of been saying it anyway, but tradition is tradition. So, I'm gonna let you give just your overall thoughts on the FP. Anything else you wanted to add? Go for it.
um, yeah, I mean, we've kind of said everything there is to say. Like, I normally I don't like things that are trying to be bad. But this movie's not necessarily trying to be bad, it's trying to be stupid, which I guess is the difference. Because there's some movies that are like, oh, we'll make a bad slasher movie, but then it just sucks because it's not like genuinely funny in any way. This movie actually has like well written jokes in it that get payoffs at the end, like you were saying with the duck
Right.
thing or the language thing that also gets paid off. And just like the whole overall concept is just everything. It's just making fun of every cliche you've ever seen in any like hero's story movie perfectly, just inside of this ridiculous premise. But it's like it's just as stupid as those movies, so why not laugh at it here? Yeah, I
Yeah.
really liked it. It's not something I could watch every day, but it's definitely a fantastic watch it with your buddies kind of movie. Like
Oh yeah.
go to your friend's house and have a couple beers and watch it, and you'll laugh your asses off. Sort of movie.
You could probably come up with a couple drinking games for this.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't do it when they say the F word because you die. Because I think they say it like 250 times. I read.
Yeah, they definitely drop it a lot. They definitely drop that one a lot. Um, there might be something else that you can. I'm sure there's something else that you can come up with one.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a fun movie because it's just bananas. That's the best
Yeah.
way I can say it. Best way I can say it. Tiana says, "Hit that like button, everyone." Yes, please hit the like button, and of course, subscribe to everybody that's in the chat. Subscribe to my good friend Derek here, and I'm gonna let Derek get ready to tell us all that he has coming up if he didn't already tell us. But anything he wants to share about Convicted Cinephile or where he's gonna be next, the floor is
Right
yours,
now.
sir.
Oh, well, what do I say? Thanks for thinking of me first. Like I said, for this bad movie thing. If you like bad movies, I do a little video series called Passages from the Bad Movie Bible on my channel, Convicted Cinephile. I've done like 6 or so episodes of it, very sporadically, but I have a literal bad movie Bible book that you can buy on Amazon. It's not like a thing I made up. And I just pick movies out of it that I happen to own and talk about them and how awesomely bad they are. That's what those are. This week I've been doing, like everyone, Criterion hunting. I've done 2 hunting videos, and I did my complete Criterion collection video and sort of threw in a recommendation video within it instead of doing 2 separate videos. I'm going to do a third one next Tuesday when I have to go pick up Mean Streets. I'll be doing a Best Buy Black Friday shopping video as well the same day. Probably it might just be one video. Other than that, I got Collectors Club stuff coming up. If Tim can hurry up and plan what he wants to do, we'll do that. But it's going to be, I'll double check the calendar. I want to say it's on the 26th of this month is the next Collectors Club stream. It's a Sunday, same as usual. And then a couple weeks after that, we'll be doing our recommendations to each other video where we talk about the movies we are going to be recommending to each other every couple of weeks. It kind of cycles through, and then eventually we'll be having our very special Collectors Club Christmas live stream. But yeah, so we'll see what I get, and I'm sure I'll be doing Oscar prediction stuff in the meantime, and SAG awards now that the SAG is no longer striking. I'll probably throw one of those out soon too.
Okay. It's gonna be interesting. Are they even gonna do one this year? Because everything's kind of short notice. Well, I guess there was plenty of work, but
Yeah,
still didn't
yeah. I
take
mean,
that long.
they haven't delayed anything yet, like because they delayed the Emmys till like January because it would have happened in September.
Right.
And then they haven't done anything for the Oscars. And then the best thing though is that I was excited that the SAGs last year it was on you could watch it on YouTube or whatever. And this year it's going to be on Netflix. So I was excited about that.
Oh,
Which is
really?
kind of funny because it's like the streaming service they were complaining about taking all their money. So I wonder if that's still going to happen. Hopefully, I guess they're under contract at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say you pay enough for the rights, though all that animosity kind of goes away.
Right. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'll do a lot of those soon. I did one like Oscar prediction video since the whole Dune getting moved till next year thing happened, and I'm sure a new one will come up soon. And I'll
Okay.
do some other live streams here and there, but just haven't picked out dates yet.
Okay. As for me on this channel, well, actually tomorrow I'm not going to be on this channel, but I am going to be over with Ryan on the Disconnected,
Oh, nice.
and I'll be doing Reconnected, his show tomorrow night. I believe it's at 9. I'll have to double check that one. I'll definitely put it in the community tab here on YouTube, and looking forward to that. Gonna have a good time just chatting movies over there with him tomorrow. Uh, I do not have any other movie swaps coming up in November. We're getting into the holidays, so
Right.
gonna slow things down. I do have some videos that are gonna be coming out. I just saw the Marvels, so I'm sure I've got an MCU ranking video coming out. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be this week or next. Um, Thinking about doing a David Fincher ranking video because I just saw The Killer. Um,
Same.
so those are two videos I'm pretty sure I'm going to do. And then, of course, I have Movie Theater Memories is the series that I also do. Recent episode of that was for Purple Rain. So go check that out. I think it's a pretty good story. Of course I do. It's my story. But but yeah, check that video out if you want to hear about my time going to the movie theaters to see Purple Rain way back in 1984 when it happened. Um, and the next movie swap that I have scheduled is in December, December 7th. The Monkey's going to be back, and we're going to talk holiday
Oh, nice.
movies. So that's going to be fun. That's all that I have. And do have Holland has one last comment, says that will be a good reconnected show. I hope to see you there, Holland, and we're gonna have a good time. But yeah, that's all I have. And guys, subscribe to Derek if you haven't already done that. Go ahead and subscribe to him. Subscribe to each other out in the chat, as I said before. If you like what you've seen here tonight, subscribe to me. And if you don't like what you've seen here tonight, watch a couple more videos before you decide you don't like me, and then either subscribe or
And
don't.
like those too while you're
Yeah,
at
like those, and then either subscribe or don't subscribe. All right, but that's all I have for you guys. So if some of y'all see on the Disconnected channel tomorrow night, some of you I'll just catch in the comment section of my videos or your videos later, guys. Bye.
it. So yeah.